Well, for anyone who's wondering, we're getting closer to getting this all done, as the videos have shown. But some are thinking, what about the house it's attached to? Or trailer or mobile home? Whatever you want to call it. Well, I'll give you a rundown on this. Because if you thought this porch video series was interesting and long, well, there's a whole nother world. That's the window that I took out of the wall over here, where the previous owner, when he built this porch years ago, just put it right over a window. So took the window out, closed that off. This is a little laundry room here, which is nice because you know, we got critters around here. It keeps the critters out. So let's check out the future work that we're going to undertake. I'm just going to start on this end. This is a 2-bedroom mobile home, 2-bath, with a added on bedroom. This is the, what you would call the master bathroom. It's the largest. You know, we're going to have some work on our hands in here. There's a lot of really bad drywall work. A lot of real shoddy drywall. The trim is basically just screwed to the wall. Nailed. Seems like it's just like laying there. But none of it's sealed. So the problem here is any water that splashes anywhere here or over by the shower just goes right up under the baseboards. So I'm going to pull all these baseboards. I'm going to go ahead and seal the floor, put the baseboards back on, do a little bit of drywall repair, whole lot of caulking. Because like they say, caulk and paint, make it what it ain't. You know, you can see there's a whole lot of caulking necessary. Things are not really sealed well, and this being a bathroom, you know, that's stuff has to be sealed really well for moisture. We've got a broken window. I'm not sure how it got broken, but it's broken. You can see that it got installed over the Tyvek house wrap, which is hanging over. Another thing we have going on in here is the people that lived here were drug addicts and alcoholics that really never cleaned at all. So they lived here for 4 years and they never cleaned anything. I mean, literally never. They might have just wiped it. This countertop is just covered with shelf paper. It's all tattered from where they rubbed up against it. You know, we'll probably do something with that. Maybe peel the shelf paper, refinish the counter, maybe even put some tile on it. Here's one where they put the tape on backwards. So basically just bumps out in the middle. So that's got to get cut out and re-skimmed. The shower door is not in bad shape. It's just super dirty, super grungy down there at the bottom. You know, I can't really say much about the way people clean, but it's apparent that this shower has never been cleaned. At least not in the last 4 years while people were living here. It's absolutely disgusting. It's not going to be able to be cleaned. We're going to have to probably sand this shower down, hit it with like some 120, and then paint it with some marine paint. Last person that painted it actually painted the handle, the fixture. So this is just one of those fiberglass add-on tubs. This isn't probably even the original one that was here. So whoever added that on was one of those one-day bathroom places, which as a contractor I can tell you to highly avoid unless you want to decrease the value of your home. You know, we'll clean it up and make it look nice because this is going to be a rental. This is going to be an apartment. I think we can salvage the floor. I think we'll just give it a good cleaning. We'll go around with clear silicone, caulk everything, get it all sealed so that any water that does splash will not be absorbed into the wall and into the floor, because these things have OSB for the floor. You know, looks like the drawers and the cabinets are all in decent shape. Just filthy. You know, you can tell that there was some leaking going on under here, and you know, it may have been repaired at some point, but they couldn't even bring themselves to wipe the crap up off the bottom of the cabinet. The sink still works. There's a dying bug. This place is a bug factory, but they're all dying now because I went through and sprayed some pest control from Pesty. So in here we've got a barn door, which is pretty cool actually. It's got a little lock on the inside, kind of a neat element to the room with all the wood trim. So I think we're just going to trim this out, put a stop on it so it doesn't go so far. Just put a stop around the edges like a 1x2 to keep it from doing that. You know, more bad drywall. Pretty much all the walls in this place are going to have to be gone over. Someone came in here and decided they wanted to add T111 to that wall for whatever reason instead of drywall. So you know, the best thing to do would be to tear that off and drywall it so it matches. But at this point, you know, everything's so expensive material wise, we're probably just going to go ahead and just paint it so that it matches the room. We've got some issues around the windows in addition to the never being cleaned. There was a lot of leaking going on the outside. The trim is just screwed around the windows. There's no seal. The windows don't have any sills in them, so the water that hits that window just comes right underneath it and into the wall. So I went around and I put a mold abatement chemical underneath all the windows. Got some issues where the plugs just basically shoved back into the wall by whoever hung the T111. A lot of mildew on the trim, which means that whole wall is full of water. You can see where this window was leaking. It actually damaged the flooring right there. So I don't know if that's, yeah, it's not too soft. Might get away with just replacing the flooring. I'm gonna patch the hole in the wall down there. There's one of the typical drywall joints. If you look down the wall, you can see it's just someone used 1/4 inch drywall to drywall this whole entire trailer. So we're going to turn this into a small apartment. This is going to be like a little studio. That is a door that accesses the plumbing for the bathtub. This is a wall unit of storage. Probably in those middle two. I'm going to take those doors off, cut all that out, trim it, put a Murphy bed in, because this is a studio, you can't really have a bed in the middle of it, so put a Murphy bed in. That door right there on that cabinet will go on that opening, so that we have a door on that one and a door on that one and 2 drawers. And that middle section will be a Murphy bed. Got some really nasty joint repair on the ceiling. What they did was they probably used Durabond, which is a fast-setting drywall compound. It's hard as a rock. And then they painted it with who knows how many coats of paint. So there's no sanding that down. So what I'm probably gonna do is get some 1x4 trim and cover those up to match the rest of the trailer, because that's kind of how it is throughout the trailer, is there's wood trim over the joints. So in here we've got 3 joints on each side, you can see. And right about there was a roof leak. This has a newer roof on it, so that was probably before the roof got done. I've been checking it since we've had some good rains and I haven't really noticed anything. So, you know, when you get, I don't know what they were, drug addicts, alcoholics, both living somewhere, you know, that's the norm. You know, God forbid they actually vacuum and clean anything. So what we're going to do here is separate this from the rest of the trailer. Going to add an entry door right there with a place outside sort of to park the vehicle, and a little bit of a platform in front of the door with a landing with some steps. This opening will be closed to this side. Put a wall right here. Turn, tie in here to this wall. And then that will make this a closet accessible from that side of the house. So the primary side, which has more room, is going to be where you access the panel. Basically, there will be a wall right here with a corner. And then this will be like a little closet right here where you can just walk in and flip the breakers. This was sort of a idea of someone wanting to have a pantry, you know, a freezer or whatever. I don't know if they ever used it for anything, but the guy who lived here built this redneck shelf or whatever you want to call it. We're going to be tearing that down. All this is coming out. This trim. As we walk into the kitchen here, you see there's this ancient cabinet that's just fallen apart. Water damaged all over the floor. Just looks nasty in here. So we're going to go ahead and take that and put it in the shop. Tear that wall down. That's sort of a pantry right there. So we're going to tear this down right here. The wall back in there. I'm going to leave that wall back in there. We're going to leave that. So that's going to be sort of like a pantry. Probably put the refrigerator either right here or inside that entry right there, inside the pantry. Someone built these cabinets a long time ago. They're all made out of like cabinet grade plywood, and they're all in fairly decent condition. There's not a lot of water damage or anything to them. So I think a quick assessment of that is going to be just cleaning them up a little bit, painting them, maybe put new hardware on them. You know, they don't have any pulls or any handles or anything, so you can see we're over 4 years the people just reached in and scratched all the paint off right where they opened all the cabinets. It's just, you know, general lack of cleaning. You know, when you're on drugs and drunk all the time and worried about whatever it is that druggies think of, you don't worry about stuff like this right here. You just ignore it. So, got a pretty decent cabinet set up. These are a little rickety. I think it's just a bad hinge. My guess is just somebody just wasn't careful when they opened them. So we'll repair those. Those are going to come down. This is going to be right here, cut off, and from here over is going to get removed all the way up to the header. And this area where you prep and do your dishes, load your dishes in there and everything, is going to be looking out into the living room. Sort of like a newer look home, you know, that has the kitchen semi-attached to the living area. That way whoever's here preparing dinner, doing whatever, can interact with whoever's out here. Kids watching TV, or, you know, husband maybe sitting there on the couch watching his football while the wife's in here making some nachos. I think the floor is in pretty decent shape. It's like a higher quality tile, vinyl tiles, so I think we can probably get away with just doing a really good scrubbing on it. Hit it with a couple layers of some commercial wax. We got some missing trim, stuff like that, but this trim right here, we're gonna be able to take that trim off, which is 3 pieces, and then trim around this doorway. Maybe use those pieces around that opening right there, which is gonna get closed off, and come in here into this smaller bedroom that was added on. And that should be able to be enough to match all the way around what baseboard does exist. This room actually was done properly. It has corner bead around the window instead of a big hunk of wood, and it looks like it had a new sill put in many years ago, but it looks like it was done more like a standard home. Just a complete lack of skill on the drywall. Probably just the homeowner probably just did it and never did drywall before. There's just blobs of mud everywhere. You gotta come down here and look at this plug, and it just, you know, it's like someone just drunkenly smeared mud all around it. So we'll get that fixed up and skimmed out. You know, blobs of mud on the corners. I think this originally was a shop that someone added on, maybe a place to do some sort of hobbies or work. So the plugs are 4 feet off the ground, 4.5 feet off the ground. So that'll be kind of cool if we use it for a studio, or maybe just put like a nice sort of a countertop across there with some cabinets, or maybe just open area underneath. The ceiling is a complete mess. It was, I don't know what happened here. Doesn't look like a water leak. Looks like someone just, they just didn't know what they were doing with the drywall. They used mesh tape. They didn't bed it in. And I think they just gave up. Whoever was trying to redo this ceiling, I think, just realized they were in over their head, like a ceiling, and then just skimmed it over. This is probably going to be a podcast studio, where Ryan and I do some podcasts, and maybe a place to come in here and edit videos and, you know, come up with ideas for new stuff. But that's probably what this is going to be. So if that ends up being that way, I'm just going to get some of those acoustic foam tiles from Amazon and just kind of go and just do this whole ceiling with those acoustic tiles. They're cheap enough. All this trim will come down up at the top, because we can all agree that something that looks like that right there, just, it makes the room look small, and it just gathers dust. It's a rough hewn 1x2. So we'll end up putting a door in here, of course. So that's a 32-inch door, it looks like. So we've got a, I'm not sure what this is, some sort of fan. I'm not sure if that, this might have been a bathroom at some time, or what. There's no fixtures or holes in the floor. So I don't know why there would be a fart fan there and a light, unless this was some sort of bathroom. But I don't think that would be literally the fan for the kitchen. So this is going to be a bit of a challenge. It's going to cost a lot of money. There's this ancient glass window, sort of a throwback to the 70s. It's got like a etched wheat cattail motif. So in here you'll see the ceiling is vaulted and has these strips of wood on the joints. If you remember in the back bedroom a few minutes ago, we looked where the joints were terribly done. I don't know if we're gonna be able to cover that with something like this, but I think we can recreate this look with a 1x3, maybe a 1x4, scraping down some of that high Durabond in the back there, so it sort of conforms. And again, this is gonna be a separate apartment from that back there, so it's not like you'll walk from seeing this into there and go, hey, that's not right. It'll be its own little area. Just really bad drywall work in here. And they taped it. They never really finished it. The corner here, it doesn't even have tape. You can see the actual joint on the drywall where it's relieved. They never even filled that. All the baseboards are just loosely attached. You know, some of them are on there okay, but a lot of them are popping off. So we're gonna have to go through and probably reattach all those and then caulk along the top of it so you can't see the major flaws in the drywall. That's about the cheapest way to do it. Instead of taping up to the ceiling, someone added a 1x2 at some point, but that's all that's left. So this piece must have fallen down or been yanked down, but you can see right here the joint is just, it's like they taped the whole place, but never really finished. So this is going to require quite a bit of attention to make it look right, as far as if we were to skim it all out. And you can see here by the window just how rough it is and how bumpy it is. It's, you know, over here, this is I don't know what this is. It's like almost a half-inch tall step in the drywall. So looks like the piece of trim here just got ripped down too at some point. Not sure why. But you'll also notice that in front of the door here, the people that lived here never cared about coming in and out with wet feet. Probably left the front door open during the rain while they were carrying groceries in, you know, various things like that. Just being lazy. Being lazy and careless because they didn't own it. They were just renting it. And that all got water damaged. So what we're going to do is probably tear the wood up here, the wood flooring, or the vinyl flooring, and use this section of good vinyl flooring to replace this in front of the door. And then we'll take that and put it over here. And I think the goal here would be to build some sort of a dresser or a counter that goes along here and covers that. And sort of like makes a little entertainment center right in this area where they could put a TV right there. And then that'll address the damaged floor. You know, there's really no way to match this up. We can match this up and get this same exact flooring and just replace all this. But if we can't, we're going to probably pull that part and put it here. Take that damaged part, put it there underneath some sort of cabinet. So over here someone put T111 on the wall. Probably the same guy that did it back there, but it's not screwed on. It's just tacked around the door. And then there's nothing holding the rest of it on. So, you know, I don't know if there might be a window under there, or used to be a window under there. You know, it's kind of that old rustic 70s, 80s trailer look, you know, with all this heavy wood and square trim. It just doesn't look very modern or attractive. But when you're making a rental, the wood's already here. So if we do anything aside from leaving it and caulking it and nailing it down, we'll probably take it and router the top of it, pull all of them off, router the top, make it look finished, make it look sort of like more like a baseboard, and then put it all back on. Got a nice ceiling fan that can be cleaned up if it still works. Cool kind of a beam. You know, someone put a little piece of trim up here that, I don't know, I'm not sure why. Could have been just capped with something simple. There used to be a chimney here and a fireplace. So that's gone. So we got this big awkward round patch in the ceiling we'll have to deal with. You know, just more, wow. More shoddy drywall work. I mean, I don't know what to say about that. It's almost like someone who did the drywall in here just didn't care, or my guess is they intended on putting paneling in here at some point. And so all they wanted to do was just get the walls sealed with drywall. And, you know, it was an older guy that lived here, so he might have done the drywall thinking he was going to panel the place. And, you know, health concerns or deaths in the family, you never know. But something stopped him from finishing this drywall. And I don't know if it was just he wasn't skilled enough to do it, or couldn't afford to pay someone to do it, or you know, maybe something happened to him and he wasn't able to do it, couldn't afford it. This was where that window was in the porch, so I went ahead, closed it off on the outside, and in here we're going to do some sort of little knick-knack thing here. Probably put a piece of drywall in there, and then maybe some shelves right here, so we can put knickknacks on them. And that'll look kind of nice. There's really no shelves or anywhere to put anything in here. And when we do the little counter over there, it's probably going to have a TV on it. And so that'll give someone a place to put knickknacks and family things. Got a nice big peeling spot there because this was leaking severely from where the two roofs met up top. That's been repaired. I put a new piece of flashing in there and sealed that, so there won't be any more leaking. There was quite a bit of mold in there. I tore it all out. Thank God. So that's the living room. The drywall gods are crying right now, guys. So we'll go ahead and take a look at this bathroom. This is defunct. The whole system is rotten. No good. The heater comes on but doesn't work anymore. The outside air conditioning unit hasn't worked in years. I don't think it even worked the whole time. The people that lived here, who were abusing and neglecting this place, lived here. I think they were using window units because there's one there, and I loaned them one that I owned to put in that window, and they used it for about a year, maybe 9 months, and it was brand new. And I got it back from them. They were going to take it with them when they moved, and I told them not to. So we basically got this bathroom. The door is wrecked. The floor can be rejuvenated. Another sink covered with shelf paper. Just a general cleaning and painting in here and caulking. Finishing up what was begun, never finished. This has got a plastic tub, so I have to be careful with that. Replace that right there. Nasty fixtures. Either that or I don't know if they're still working or not. I'm not going to turn anything on because I don't want water problems. So, no door on the bedroom. Just trimmed out with wood. This is all more of the exciting drywall skills here. Just general mess. Really cool wall unit. Just paint that up. Clean it up a little bit. A lot of cleaning. Looks like we had a leak here. Oof. These guys were sleeping with that. I'm sure they probably had some breathing issues. And the same thing as we've got everywhere else. Just a general complete lack of cleaning. You know, a lot of drywall patching. Some emotional holes in the wall. Usually those are from people kicking or punching. Big crack in the corner over there. So that's all going to have to get repaired. A lot of the plugs are just falling out of the walls. So yeah, whoever was sleeping in here was definitely probably having issues. Yeah, that's typical right there. The plug just hanging out of the wall. It's not even fastened to the stud. It's just hanging in 1/4 inch drywall. And then basically just a whole lot of cleaning. A whole lot of
work to do as far as making it livable and safe. I think the key thing here is it's not safe. Man, what the hell happened to that blade? This blade is like, wow. Somebody got their head stuck in that thing, man. It is bent. Woo! He was stumbling out of that mold-filled bathroom and walked into the blades. So that's what we got to do. And then, you know, we got this sliding door here, of course. No hardware. So I don't know where the hardware went. We'll have to get a set of hardware for that. Got a vertical blind there that looks like it can probably be cleaned up. But that is, after this backyard gets cleaned up and straightened away, yeah, mobile home rescue. I don't know what else to call it. All right, see you guys.